Hi, welcome to my law channel. Today I'm talking about robbery. It's a universal offense and the statutes regulating them are different in different countries. Robbery is when someone uses force or violence on another person in order to take away the person's belongings or property. It's another form of stealing, but theft, but its attribute is violence. So robbery is using violence on someone. And in Nigeria is regulated by the Penal Code and the Criminal Code. Section 296 talks about robbery, and Section 2401 of the Criminal Code talks about defines robbery. So Penal Code is 296 and the Criminal Code is 401. Now, there's something that I need to mention in the Penal Code. In the Penal Code, an offense called brigandage is mentioned. brigandage in Section 297 of the Penal Code. And what is brigandage? It's when at least five persons or more conspire to commit the offense. Okay, so brigandage is when at least five persons gang up together to commit the offense of robbery. And then you now understand what the definition of robbery is. Robbery is when somebody uses violence, hurt someone's body, or kill somebody in order to steal the person's belongings. Now, what are the ingredients of robbery? In Nigeria, the ingredients for robbery are the same, and I'll be mentioning those ingredients based on a Nigeria decided case by the Supreme Court, which is the case of Usong versus State. Usong is USUNG versus State, reported in 2009, all FWLR at page 1203, precisely at page 1210 and 1211. Now, the ingredients of robbery are: for the prosecution to succeed in proof of the offense of armed robbery, there ought to be proof beyond reasonable doubt that A, there was a robbery or series of robberies, that each robbery was an armed robbery, and finally, that the accused was one of those who took part in the robbery. And the Supreme Court relied on the case of Isibor versus the State, reported in 2002, FWLR Part 98 at page 843. Also the same case, Isibor versus the State, ISIBOR, reported in 2002, 3 NWLR Part 754 250. Now I'll move on to the punishment. The Penal Code, generally the punishment for robbery is 21 years imprisonment as contained in Section 402 of the Criminal Code and Section 298 of the Penal Code. But however, if bodily injury is done to someone or death is the consequence of their action, then the death penalty is what will be the punishment. Now, attempted robbery is punishable with 14 years imprisonment and not more than 20 years imprisonment with or without caning, as contained in Section 403 of the Criminal Code and 299 and 300 of the Penal Code. If attempted robbery is done and the person is found to be in possession of firearms, then there will be imprisonment for life. And also in the same case with the Penal Code, and such imprisonment shall be with or without caning. Now, the offense of brigandage, like I mentioned earlier, is also contained in the Penal Code in Section 301 down to 304 of the Penal Code, and the punishment and the attempt for the offense of brigandage is same as the punishment for robbery and attempted robbery, which is 21 years generally for punishment of robbery, and then 14 years to 20, not more than 20 years for attempted robbery with or without killing. Now, I would also like to mention that if conspiracy for armed robbery is also contained in section 403 of the Criminal Code and section 299 and 300 of the Penal Code. Section 403 of the Criminal Code provides for attempted conspiracy to commit robbery, and section 299-300 provides for conspiracy to commit robbery in the Penal Code. And conspiracy to commit robbery also goes to the offense of 14 years to 20 years imprisonment, and if found in possession of firearms, life imprisonment. And such imprisonment goes with or without claim for both 14 years to 20, not more than 20 years imprisonment or life imprisonment. So I've been able to explain what brigandage is. Brigandage is robbery of not more than 5 persons who conspire together and plan to commit the offense of robbery. Please stay tuned. Hey, so the punishment for robbery generally is 21 years imprisonment, like I have said, in section 402 of the Criminal Code and section 298 of the Penal Code. And then they as the punishment, but if grievous bodily harm or death is caused to the victim, then they'll be liable to death sentence. Then the punishment for attempted robbery or conspiracy to commit robbery is 14 years imprisonment and not more than 20 years imprisonment with or without caning. And then if the person is found to be in possession of firearms during the attempting to commit robbery or conspiracy to commit robbery, the person will be imprisoned for life. Even if somebody conspired and the person is not at the crime of the scene of the crime, the person will be liable to the same punishment as the principal offender. Now, things that may cause bodily hurt or death to the victim of an armed robbery include obnoxious chemical or substances and firearms. And section 403 of the Criminal Code, 403B of the Criminal Code, gives the definition of firearms and offensive weapon to include cannon, gun, flint, lock gun, revolver, pistol, explosive or ammunition, or other firearm, whether whole or in detached pieces. Offensive weapon means any article apart from a firearm made or adapted for use for causing injury to a person or intended by the person having it for such use by him, and it includes air gun, air pistol, bow and arrow, spear, cutlass, machete, dagger, guard girl, or any piece of wood, metal, glass, or stone capable of being used as an offensive weapon. Now, I will not fail to mention that in a situation where money is found on a robber or property is found, what do the police or the law enforcement agencies like the court do with? Now, section 340, 341 and 342 of the Criminal Justice Administration Act, applicable in Nigeria, of 2015, provides that when money is found on the defendant, the police may restore or give back the money to the owner if the owner is found. The court may also order that such properties or money be restored to the owners if they are found. So that's what you call restitution of property. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.